हरे कृष्णा ब्रो। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन गिरिवर धारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन मन तिरवन चारे। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। श्री राधा गिरधारी भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौरताय भगवान की जय। श्री श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा की जय। प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrit. Prabhupada was sitting on his dais, lecturing to a full house, when when a fat girl who had been sitting on the window seat suddenly stood up and began hollering at him. Are you just going to sit there? He yelled. What are you going to do now? Come on. Are you going to say something? What are you going to do? Who are you? Her action was so sudden and her speech so violent that no one in the temple responded. Unangered, Prabhupada sat very quietly. He appeared hurt. Only the devotees sitting closest to him heard him say softly, as if to himself, it is the darkness of darkness. Another night, while Prabhupada was lecturing, a boy came up and sat on the dais beside him. The boy faced out towards the audience and interrupted, interrupted Prabhupada. I would like to say something now. Prabhupada politely said, wait until after the class, then we have questions. The boy waited for a few minutes, still sitting on the dais, and Prabhupada continued to lecture. But again the boy interrupted, I got something to say. I want to say what I have to say now. The devotees in the audience looked up, astonished, thinking that Swamiji would handle the matter and now not wanting to cause a disturbance. None of them did anything. They simply sat while the boy began talking incoherently. Then Prabhupada picked up his kartals. All right, let us have kirtan. The boy sat in the same place throughout the kirtan, looking crazily, sometimes menacingly at Prabhupada. After half an hour, the kirtan stopped. Prabhupada cut an apple into small pieces, as was his custom. He then placed the paring knife and piece of apple in his right hand and held his hand out to the boy. The boy looked at Prabhupada and then down at the apple and knife. The room became silent. Prabhupada sat motionless, smiling slightly at the boy. After a long, tense moment, the boy reached out. A sigh rose from the audience as the boy chose the piece of apple from Prabhupada's open hand. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29, verse number 46. Yada Yasyanugrihhnati Bhagavan Atma भावितः स जहाति मतिं लोके वेदे च परिनिष्टताम् यदा यस्यानुगृह्णाति भगवान् आत्मभावितः स जहाति मतिं लोके वेदे च परिनिष्ठिताम् यदा यस्यानुगृह्णाति भगवान् आत्मभावितः स जहाति मतिं लोके वेदे च परिनिष्ठिताम् यदा यस्यानुगृह्णाति भगवान् आत्मभावितः स जहाति मतिं लोके वेदे च परिनिष्ठिताम् यदा यस्यानुगृह्णाति भगवान् आत्मभावितः स जहाति मतिं लोके वेदे च परिनिष्ठिताम् यस्यानुगृह्णाति भगवानात्मभावितः यदा यस्यानुगृह्णाति भगवान् आत्मभावितः स जहाति मतिं लोके devotees, if you want to joining us through Zoom, if you want to recite the verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am trying.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yada yashanu grinati Bhagavan atmabhavitah Rajahati motim loke Vede
भगवान् आत्मभावितः
Shajahati motim loke Vede cha parinishtitam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yada yashanu grinati Bhagavan atmabhavitah Shajahati motim loke Vede cha parinishtitam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जन्मदिन
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
यदा यस्यानुगृह्णाति भगवान् आत्मा भावितः सा जहाति मतिं लोके वेदे च परिनिष्ठिताम्
Echa parinishtitam.
यदा यशानुगृह्णाति
Yada yasyanu
भगवानात्मभावितः
Bhagavan atmabhavita
स जहाति मुतिं लोके
sa jahati matim loke
वेदे च परिनिष्ठिताम्
echa parinishtitam. Yada, when, yasya, whom, anugrihnati, favors by causeless mercy, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Atma Bhavitaha, realized by a devotee, Saha, such a devotee, Jahati, gives up, Matim, consciousness, Loke, in the material world, Vede, in the Vedic function, Cha, also, Parinishtitam, fixed. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: when a person is fully engaged in devotional service, he is favored by the Lord, who bestows his causeless mercy. At such a time, the awakened devotee gives up all material activities and ritualistic performances mentioned in the Vedas. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the previous verse, those who are in knowledge have been described as unable to appreciate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, this verse indicates that those who are followers of Vedic rituals, as well as those who are followers of fruitive activities, are unable to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In these two verses, both the karmis and jnanis are described as unfit to understand Him. As described by Srila Rupa Goswami, only when one is completely freed from the mental speculation and fruitive activity, anya vilasita sunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulena krishnanushilanam bhakti, can one engage in pure devotional service without being polluted by material desires. The significant word Atma Bhavita indicates that the Lord is awakened in one's mind if one constantly thinks of Him. A pure devotee is always thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo. A pure devotee cannot remain a moment without being absorbed in thoughts of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This constant thinking of the Lord is described in Bhagavad Gita as Satata Yuktanam Bhajtam Pritipurukam, always engaging in the Lord's service. Bhajatam Pritipurvakam. This is devotional service in love and affection. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead dictates to the pure devotee from within, the devotee is saved from all material activities. Even the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are considered material activities because by such activities, one is simply elevated to the other planetary systems, the residential abodes of the demigod. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.25, Yanti deva vrata devan pitrini yanti pitrivataha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajino pimam. Those who worship demigods will take birth amongst the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. The word Atma Bhavita also indicates that a devotee is always engaged in preaching to deliver a conditioned soul. It is said of the six Goswamis, Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Sadharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hita Karino. A pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always thinking of how fallen conditioned souls can be delivered. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, influenced by the merciful devotees, attempt to deliver fallen souls, enlightens the people in general from within by His causeless mercy. If a devotee is blessed by another devotee, he becomes free from karma kand and jnana kand activities. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita Vedesu Durlabham Atma Bhakta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be realized through karma kand and Gyan can't. Adurulabhama Atma Bhakto. The Lord is realized only by a sincere devotee. This material world, the cosmic manifestation, is created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the living entities have come here to enjoy themselves. The Vedic instructions guide them according to different regulative principles, and intelligent people take advantage of this instruction. They thus enjoy material life without being disturbed. This is actually illusion, and to get out of this illusion by one's own endeavor is very difficult. The general populace is engaged in material activities, and when people are a little advanced, they become attracted by the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas. However, when one is frustrated in the performance of these ritualistic ceremonies, he again comes to the material activities. In this way, both the followers of Vedic rituals and the followers of material activities are entangled in conditioned life. These people get uh, the seed of devotional service only by the goodwill of the Guru and Krishna. This is confirmed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Beach. When one is engaged in devotional service, he is no longer attracted to material activities. When a man is covered by different designations, he cannot engage in devotional service. One has to become freed from such designative activities, sarvopadi vinurmuktam, and become pure in order to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead through purified senses. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. The service of the Lord through purified senses is called Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. A sincere devotee is always helped by the Super Soul who resides within the heart of every living entity, as Lord Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Isham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tamena mamapradite. Those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. This is the stage of becoming free from contamination of the material world. At such a time, a devotee makes friends with another devotee, and his engagement in material activities ceases completely. At that time, he attains the favor of the Lord and loses his faith in material civilization, which begins with Varna Ashrama Dharma. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks clearly of one's becoming liberated from this Varnashrama Dharma, the most exalted system of human civilization. At such a time, one feels himself to be perpetually the servant of the Lord of Lord Krishna, a position taken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Naham vipro na chanarapatir, napi vaishyo na sudro, naham varni na cha grihapatir, navanasto yathirva, kintu pradoyam nikhila paramat nanda purnamritabdir abdir gopi bhardu padakamalayo dasanudasaha. I am not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra. I am not a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, or Sannyasi. What am I? I am eternal servant of the Lord, of Lord Krishna. Through the disciplic succession, one can attain this conclusion, which is perfect elevation to the transcendental platform. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chaksuranmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Radha Govind Goswami. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Sunirvadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna devotees. So there's so much given in this long purport by Srila Prabhupada. There's so much information Prabhupada gives just on this particular ways. So yes, we have previously we looked at how all the mantras and all the demigod worship that doesn't necessarily make us understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if someone is very good at mantras, even also there's in the previous verse it said Sabda Brahmani Duspare Charanta Uruvistare Mantra Linger Vivachinnam Bhajato Na Viduparam. Bhajato Na Viduparam. Still, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Even all the mantras, Vedic mantras, chanting the Vedic mantras properly, but that doesn't make us qualified to understand Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And now in this verse, it is mentioned that when one gets yada yasya nugrahinati, anugraha is important. When the Lord actually bestows His mercy, anugraha. Yada yasya, yada means when. When one gets the mercy of the Lord, yasya anugrahinati. When one gets the mercy of the Lord, is favored by the causeless mercy of the Lord. And when does one get the mercy of the Lord? From Bhagavan. When? Yeah, when one is freed from karma and gyan. So yes. Atma Bhavita. Atma Bhavita is written here because that means when one performs devotional service to the Lord, of course, without gyan and karma, jnana karma dhyanavrita, freed from mental speculation or fruitive activities. Jnana karma dhyanavritam, when one performs devotional service, that's atma bhavita, then Lord actually becomes merciful. Like we have this verse from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna says, so first of those key verses of the Bhagavad Gita is Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. And then the next one, Matchitta madgat prana bodhenta parasparam katenta shamam nityam kushanti cha ramanti cha. And then the next one is quoted by Prabhupada here. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tum enamam upyantite. Right? So Lord Krishna is saying there, so I give the intelligence when one performs Isham Satata Yuktanam. Satata Yuktanam means always engaged. Satata Yuktanam. Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Bhajatam means devotional service. Priti Purvakam means with love. And And then Lord Krishna then again says, Tesham evanu kampartam aham ajnana jam tamanashyam atma bhavasto jnana dipena bhaso. Then I actually, by my costless mercy, Lord Krishna is saying, I remove the darkness of ignorance by the torch of knowledge. Lord Krishna is saying that in the. So when we see in the Damodar Leela, we see that Yashoda Maya is performing loving devotional service to Krishna. She wakes up early in the morning. This is the day of Deepavali. She wakes up and she's busy preparing. One is she's preparing this, heating the milk so that she can use that milk for Krishna and also make more yogurt. And then she has already prepared some milk already from the previous day and then turn into yogurt, converted into yogurt. It's very, very special milk. And that's again for Krishna. And then while she is making the yogurt, when she's trying to make the butter from the yogurt, convert the butter into the yogurt. Sorry, convert the yogurt into butter. When she's doing that activity, she's doing it so much of Krishna consciousness, remembering Krishna's activities and singing Krishna's glories, and her mind is fully engaged in thinking of Krishna. And then we know that Krishna comes and then he wants to take the mother's milk, and then she starts feeding Krishna. And then after that, she sees that on the stove, the milk is boiling. She goes to save that milk, and Krishna was left on the floor, and then Krishna takes a stone and breaks the pot. And then when she comes back, she sees that that pot is broken and there's milk, the yogurt, everywhere. And then she looks for Krishna. Of course, it was easy to locate Krishna because of the footprints. And she follows the footprints, and she finds Krishna, and then Krishna jumps from that ukal, and he was feeding monkeys. He just jumps from there and starts running. And then, of course, he was finally caught, and then Mother Yashoda tries to bind Krishna, right? She wants to tie Krishna with the rope, and there's always the rope is 2 fingers short. And the acharyas represent, and also Srimad Bhagavatam says, Drishtva parishramam mam Krishna kripayasit swabandhane. So when again and again it was 2 fingers short, tries 2 fingers short, again she brings more rope, again ties, joins them, again 2 fingers short, again 2 fingers short. And the 2 fingers, those 2 fingers are, one is once parishram, how much effort we put in, right? Our devotional service, our part. This one is our part, and the other part is
Lord mercy.
The other part is the mercy of the Lord. Anugraha. Atma Bhavita is our part, right? Atma Bhavita means, our part. We, perform devotional service to come to the right platform again and again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chanting our rounds, right? And, doing all the seva that we have to do, that seva. So that is our part. And then Anugraha, Yasyanugrihanati, and then Lord Krishna becomes merciful. Because then it's not that by studying where this one can understand Krishna. It's not that. One's own devotional service, Atma Bhavita, and then the Bhagwan's Anugraha. And what happens? Sa Jahati Matim Loke. And then what happens? One gets freed from Hmm? Yeah, the consciousness of this world, or gives up the material activities, and also Vedecha Parinishkitam, yeah, ritualistic performance mentioned in the Vedas. This is all what what's his name? Prachin Barishad was expected. He was always busy with all the ritualistic activities of the Vedas. You know, he used to perform yajnas again and again. Actually, these yajnas don't even please Agni Dev. You know, there's a katha in the Agni Dev in the Mahabharata where Agni Dev was disturbed even by the fire sacrifices. Agni Dev was very disturbed and goes to Arjuna and Krishna and says, you know, I need your help because one king whose name is Svetaki has performed so much of yajna and I'm suffering from indigestion and performed so much of yajna with the ghee, swaha, 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 and I have to accept so much of ghee, and now I'm suffering from indigestion, Agnidha, and my body has become pale, and I've lost all the, tej and effulgence. You know, I'm getting weaker because of consuming so much of ghee, and says that I need to burn the Kanda forest, and there are some nice herbs there so that I can get freed from indigestion. So they had approached, and he had approached Lord Krishna and Arjuna, and then Lord Arjuna, of course, said that I can do it, or we can do it, but we don't have any weapons. We don't have a chariot, we don't have weapons, we don't have weapons. And that's when the Agni Deva gave the chariot. That's when Agni Deva said, okay, this is the chariot for you. And so we can see even Agni Deva is not pleased with all the different kinds of yajna. And this Prachin Barhi was very, very expert at doing yajnas. One yajna, another yajna. And so when we come to the platform of devotional service, when we start performing devotional service, and when Krishna bestows his mercy, Bhagwan Atma Bhavita, yes, Yadayasya Grihanati, then one gives up all these material activities, and then also the ritualistic performance mentioned in the Veda. It's very easy to get attracted to them because they are very nicely mentioned. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadante vipashita vedvadrata pata nanyanda sthiti vadina. Very pushpitam vacham. Pushpitam vacham means they're flowery words. Flowery words means very attractive, very nice. Pushpitam vacham. If you do this, you'll get this, you do this, you get this, you do this, you get this. And so people are attracted to that. So they want to get some material enjoyment. And but when you come to the platform of devotional service, then you know that these things are only, they don't actually help us in devotional service. They don't help us in devotional service. We get more and more entangled. So we need to get freed from this. And also, you know, there's too much attachment to of course, where there are we need to know that the Vedas is meant for different kinds of people. There are different kinds of people in this world, and we have different kinds of somehow to bring the people to the right platform. There are different activities for them. We have people in the mode of ignorance, people in the mode of goodness, people in the mode of passion. Even all the scriptures. There are scriptures are also meant for people in the mode of ignorance. There are scriptures meant for Puranas meant for people in the mode of passion, so that people can gradually come to that right platform. But the thing is, people get stuck. They get stuck, and that's why Naraji came and chastised uh, Vyasji, that you wanted to revenge, to actually you gave all these things, about different warships and different kinds of things, and then they are attracted to that, and you have to glorify the Lord sufficiently so that the people get attracted to the Lord and they understand what the actual purpose of the Vedas is. Vedascha sarvair aham eva vedyo. That is the actual purpose, but people are so much attracted to those rituals of the Vedas. They're more interested in the rituals rather than the purpose behind it. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of doing this? Purpose of their doing stuff. So it's a very, very nice verse. And Prabhupada, of course, writes long purport, and he says that talking about importance of also devotees or Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. So, it says, in this way, both the followers of the Vedic rituals and followers of materialistic activities are entangled in conditional life. They're entangled. And these people get the seed of devotional service only by the goodwill of the Guru and Krishna. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. So, and when one is engaged in devotional service, they're no longer attracted to the material activities or the ritualistic activities of the Vedas. And that's why there's also the Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. Prabhupada calls that Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti. So Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam means getting freed from all the designations. All the designations. What are those designations? Yeah, different bodily designations. So I am this, I am that, I'm a Brahmana, I am a Vaishya or a Sudra or Kshatriya, I'm a Grihastha, I'm so and so, I'm a qualified person. All these things are different upadis, designations of the body. And that's all to do with aham and mameti, mine and I, that kind of designations, and that one has to become freed from those. And that's why here Prabhupada quotes that verse from Padyavali, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say this verse. This is actually the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am not Naham Vipraha. I'm not a Brahman. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in a Brahmana family, he said, I'm not a Brahman. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, he is taking the mood of a humble devotee, because he is Krishna himself. Krishna, in the mood and complexion of Radharani, is coming in a mood and complexion of Radharani, and then he is actually, acting like a devotee. Naham Vipro Nacha Narapati. Narapati means king or a Kshatriya. Napi Vaishya. Neither Kshatriya, neither Vipra, na api Vaishya, not a Vaishya, na Sudra, not Sudra. So I'm not part of, so I'm not in these different kinds of varnas. Right? This is the four varnas. Chaturvarnyam. And Naham Varni Nacha Griha Patir Na Vanasto Yatirva. So talking about all the different ashrams. So neither I am part of the any varna or neither part of any ashrama. Ashrama, of course, you have brahmachari and grihastha, vanaprasth or sannyas. So who am I? Gopir, Gopi Bhartu Padkamalayo Dasanu Dasa. Who am I?
Servant to the
Gopi
servant.
Bhartu means the one who is the maintainer of the gopis, one who maintains the gopis, Gopi Bhartu. Padakamalayo is lotus feet of Krishna, Dasa, Dasa, Anudasa, from the seventh of the seventh of the servant of the Lord, of Krishna. This is the mood of a pure devotee, which was accepted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And we see that there's also Vritrasur. Vritrasur prays, Aham Hare Tava Padeka Mula Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi Bhuyaha. So that is Vritrasur. Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi Bhuya. When will I become the servant of the Lord again? So this is the prayers of Vritrasur. So here this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So because this kind of mood, saving, performing devotional service under the guidance of devotees will bring us to the platform where we can get the mercy of the Lord. Through the mercy of the devotees, we get the mercy of the Lord. When we get favored by the devotees, when we accept ourselves as the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, of course we have got, so the parampara contains so many acharyas, so servant of the 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 Lord. Of course we are servant of so many times. We come in the parampara in which we have Krishna in number 1 and Prabhupada is which number? 32. And then we have our spiritual masters, 33 and all those. So if we say Dasanu, 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 Dasa, so many Dasanu, Dasanu, Dasaha. So accepting the mercy of the devotees, of course they guide us, and then when we perform devotional service and get freed from that kind of enjoying mentality, getting, or not being attracted to the material activities, so that I get this benefit, that benefit, That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamaye mama janmani janmani ishvaro
Bhagata
bhavata rahe tuki toyi. So that is the mood. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamaye mama janmani janmani ishvaro bhavatat bhaktir ahetuki toyi. What do I need? Do I need dhanam, janam, sundarim, or kavita? What are those? What's the meaning of that? Dhanam, of course, easy. Na dhanam, na janam. Janam means? Janam here, Prabhupada writes the followers. Jan, a lot of followers. Lot of followers. Like I do all this my devotional service because I need more followers on YouTube. The more followers I attract, then the better it is for me. I can get a little bit more extra money. Dhanam is there, Janam is there, or I can get more disciples. If I get more disciples, then I can get more dakshina. right? So na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, or I'm not even doing it to attract the opposite sex, sundarim, kavitam, or becoming too knowledgeable, jagadish, and these things are not the purpose. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahetukita. What do I want? Ahetuki bhakti, not hetu, not for some purpose, but I want ahetuki. What I need is the unalloyed and
Uninterrupted.
unmotivated devotional service. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktira dokshade adokshade ahetuki apratihata ye atma suprasiddha. Ahetuki and apratihata. That's important. Ahetuki and apratihata. Apratihata means that which is not stopped. Nitya yukta upasate. Tasmat sarvesu kalesu mamanusmaraye. Maya veshya manoye mam nitya yukta upasate. Tatatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavata. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana paripasate. So that kind of, that is actually unmotivated, uninterrupted. And then of course unmotivated is na dhanam, na janam, na sundari, all this. Yes, Hare Krishna. Yasyanugrihyanati Bhagavan Atma Bhavita Sa Jahati Matim Loke Vede Cha Parinishtitam. So when we perform devotional service with the guidance of the spiritual master Guru Krishna Prasad Payam Kilata association of the devotees, then we by Bhagwan's mercy and Nugriha, then we can get freed from that, give up the material activities or ritualistic performance mentioned in the Vedas very easily. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Or what, if you can just mention what you have learned, if you want to say what are some of the important things we learned, in the court of Prabhupada or in this class, what are some of the important things?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Okay. That's a wonderful explanation of a long text with so many important hidden points. One of the most important things, as I understood, is that serving the Lord in the notion of pure devotional service without Sarva Upadi Vinad Muktam. That is the only way by which we can serve the Lord, deviating from the fruitive activities and the materialistic knowledge, and through the guidance of our spiritual master, so that we can become Dasanudas, Dasanudas, so that parampara can be maintained to the disciplic succession. And that is the only way to serve the Lord. We need to be Sarva Upadi Vinir Muktam, leaving all the designation we have in our mind, me and I, my position, who am I, everything need to be put aside before we serve the Lord. And that way we can get attached to the Lord mercy through our spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes. Definitely when we perform devotional service, we will get freed from all the designations. Of course, we need the guidance of the spiritual master. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes. Anyone else? Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anyone from the Zoom? Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you all the devotees. Shri Shri Radha Girdhari Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Shri Gaunitaya Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ki jai. Hare Krishna. सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च
कृपा सिंधु
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
देव्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः।
नमः। अनंत कोटि
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद
वृंद
की
की जय।
जय
माधव गोविंद प्रभु की जय।
जय
शिला
जय।
प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर
जय।
प्रेमानंदे हरि
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 बोल।
बोल।
All glories to the assembled devotees.
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा।
Krishna.